Good afternoon and thanks for joining me on the news. My name is Remy Allen. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has inaugurated the Southwest Regional Training on Tax Audit, Investigation, Compliance and Enforcement. The event at the International Service in Welcome for your new services. Governor Ayedatiwa expressed his enthusiasm for the training, highlighting its significance in enhancing tax systems and administration across the zone. He emphasized the vital role of taxation in government operations, that it's government with to fulfill the mandate of providing essential services and infrastructure for the welfare and development of the people. In his welcome address, Chairman of Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, Tolu Adegbe, noted that hosting the training in Ondo State is a privilege and emphasized its focus on tax audit, investigation, compliance, and enforcement. The training aims to enhance regional tax administration and ensure effective revenue collection, setting a strong foundation for fiscal stability and growth. The November 6th government of Ondo State draws the camp of All Progressives Congress has been enlarged, with more members of the main opposition, PDP, joining the ruling party. The latest to identify with the APC and the Ayedatiwa administration are members of the PDP from Ilaje local government area of the state. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, with support and solidarity, promised to provide enabling environment for them to actualize the desired dreams and targets. Ayedatiwa described their decision as a strong indication of the love and support of Ilaje people. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details.
As the clock ticks ahead of the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State, members of the opposition party PDP in Ilaje local government area of the state have dumped the party for the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. The setting was the Koko Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure, as APC member the campaigns said their decision to dump PDP was due to of the government to make their own force parity ahead of the
mantle of the state fell on you will be studying, and we've seen that you've been performing. We believe that is ready to move the state, and that is why we.
Another leader in the area, Mr. Debo Ajimuda, is on deck to ensure the success of Governor Ayedatiwa.
I saw a go-getter, quiet go-getter. John was a name.
APC this thank for the show. Which
to become. Is being this structure of PDP. So, with you now, dismantling PDP already, PDP has been very.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa who expressed his joy over the support, said that the decision was an indication of his acceptance by the people of Ilaje. Aiyedatiwa, who promised to provide enabling environment for them to actualize the desired dreams and target the governance.
What I need to do in leadership since I came on board as the governor of Ondo State, that it's of interest them, and they believe they need to join hands with me so that I can do more, or we can do Ilaje. I want to thank you. I'm having my own people from Ilaje to join me in this journey from the other political parties. It's a that all the Nigerians are with me. And I know together we will be targets. We will develop this state. I promise I will make Nigeria proud.
The governor, while restating his commitment to making the state the envy of rivals in terms of growth and development, urged more prayers and support for his administration. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
As part of Ondo State government's efforts to provide access to potable water to households, re-engineering and rehabilitation, work on the water facility is set to commence in Igbokoda, headquarters of Ilaje Council area. Commissioner for Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene, Sunday Akinwalere, led officers of the ministry for an on-the-spot assessment of the facility, which had been abandoned for years. Osrc's Zaid Aribsa reports that the team also interfaced with members of the community. The report.
Welcome to Igbokoda, the headquarters of Ilaje Council area of Ondo State. Like many towns and communities around here, water is everywhere. But potable water is a luxury, sometimes too much to afford, while many taps around here have run dry.
Water we normally drink here, we bought it from Oktowa local government. They use tanker to bring it down here. So, what do you say about
However, Osrc is coming with the Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa administration now assuring the people of a positive turnaround that necessitated the visit of Ondo Commissioner for Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene to this facility in the town for an on-the-spot assessment preparatory to the takeoff of a water scheme that will serve households in the area. The Commissioner, Sunday Akinwalere, said the moribund facility, which was inaugurated in 2008, will be re-engineered and rehabilitated in line with current best practices for sustainability.
The rehabilitation being approved will curb what we say people taking water that is not hygienic. Most especially this time around, we are talking about the spread of cholera. Mr. Governor is so passionate about the health of our people. Our people need good water, and that is why he has directed and he's even approved the complete re-engineering of this water scheme. And within the next couple of weeks, the water will flow.
Mr. Akinwalere said the intervention is part of Governor Aiyedatiwa's holistic approach to alleviating the suffering of the people across the state.
We are giving the Central District pipe-borne water within the next couple of months. Less than 18 months, the whole of Central District of Akure South, Akure North, Ondo West, Ondo East, and Ilaoluji community will benefit. And we're targeting not less than 2,500 households. And by that, 5 per household will give you about 4 million, not less than 4 million, between 4 million and 5 million. That will benefit that.
General Manager, Ondo State's Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, Oladimiji Afolabi, explained the scientific method to ensure that the water is safe.
The system that we call RO is quite simple, and unlike the area where you had formerly you had you have lime, you had chlorines and all that thing. Here now it is filter media that's going to pass through the process. And it's a new technology that is superb and efficient in sustainability. And that is actually where we are putting in place.
The officials from the Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene Ministry also visited the Olu of Ibokoda on the need for the community to take ownership of the project when completed to avoid vandalism. The traditional ruler, Oba Afolabi Oladimeji Odidiomo, and youth leader of Ibokoda, Wale Odiyeye, commended Governor Aiyedatiwa for his intervention.
I just want to put that one in. I want to thank the governor and the government today for remembering us in this area to see how to put in place a workable water supply, as it were. We really appreciate it.
I'm very happy, in fact, to see that. That would really help. I will appreciate it and we pray for the government.
The first phase of the project is expected to be completed in about 3 months. Sahira Aribisala, Osrc News.
Experts have reacted to recent building collapses reported across Nigeria, challenging building owners, government and professionals to play their part for a lasting solution. Chairman, Nigeria Institute of Architects Ondo State Chapter, Adetunji Bello, and the State Chairman, Nigeria Institute of Engineer, Ondo State, Razak Ejibuno, while speaking with Osrc, frowned at the incident which has become frequent in the country. According to them, government must work together with stakeholders to ensure that quackery becomes a thing of the past.
We have seasoned professionals in the built environment, but the problem is that they are not being patronized. They patronize people that we refer to as quacks, both in all professions. Me being architecture, as an architect, as a quack architect, or there is a quack in that profession. That this survey we have quacks. People patronize quacks more than the. I saw some things that are not working well. Then we are trying to once we are able to meet him, and I know he has a listening here, he will lead such thing in Ondo State. And I know as professionals, qualified professionals, will not allow any building collapse with the help of the government.
Volunteers are on deck, on the government side, as an association, on the individuals, and things like that. If the government can put the law down, which is in existence, enforce it. Monitoring. One thing is to have a law and to enforce it, and then there's a monitoring agency to make sure that all the work. So my counsel is, whether it is government or individuals, they should an input when it comes to building, when it comes to bridges, when it comes to road. It's not just like somebody banana or on the road. Every professional, and one thing, even among professionals, as the structural engineer, the job of an architect, everybody should know his boundary.
Although building collapse is not rampant in those states, but avoid Democratic Party PDP rose from in Enugu yesterday, warning against any presidential forthcoming off-season governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states. At the meeting, which had in attendance 12 of the 13 governors of the PDP, governors expressed pleasure with a minimum wage negotiation in the face of extreme hardship and died on it. presenting the communique of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, said the governors admonished all the parties to ensure that campaigns were issues-based, violence-free, and with the provisions of the Electoral Act. In time, a former chairman of the People's Democratic Party statement from the party. Alabi made his resignation public in a letter addressed to the chairman of his ward in Akure North local government area. Alabi alleged that the concern of the leadership of the party is primary ended up in private pockets. The chairman said he took the decision to quit the party after 21 years. Having leaders were not willing to deviate practice. Following last week's Supreme Court judgment, the 401 chairmen and members of the caretaker committees running the 62 local government and council development areas in Osrc State have tendered their resignations. One of them, the caretaker chairman of Odotin local government area, Adewale Adeyinka, said he quit office out of respect for the country's democratic should have their allocation from the Federation account withheld. The chairman of Osrc State chapter of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Mr. Sarafuddin Awotunde, also confirmed that the 69 caretaker chairmen and 332 members in Osrc State had resigned. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has voided impeachment of Philip Shuaibu as Deputy Governor of Edo State. Justice Omotosho, while delivering judgment in the suit, declared that Shuaibu be reinstated to office as Edo State House of Assembly failed to comply with due process in impeaching him. He also ordered the Inspector General of Police to provide him with needed security to enable him resume office and perform the functions of the office until the end of his tenure. The court held that the allegation on which the House of Assembly based the impeachment proceedings was untenable in law and did not constitute gross misconduct. Philip Shuaibu reacts to the court's ruling.
We'd like to hear from you, sir.
I think that's will have been for my brother to talk about the case. For me, I want to thank the judiciary. I want to thank Justice Omotosho for his courage, and he has restored confidence that truly the judiciary is the last hope. And as a common person, justice has been done. And I want to thank Edo people. Edo people and Nigerians. Everywhere I went throughout this process, everybody I see, they tell me we are praying for you. I want to tell Edo people and Nigerians that have been praying for me that God has answered our prayer. So I dedicate this to God and this God. This justice, this judgment today, as we affirm the foundation of democracy, and it has also sent a message to anti-democratic forces that their time is coming to an end. Democracy must survive in Nigeria. Democracy is going to have to Edo people, I will continue to serve everything that I have. And by the grace of God, together I do thank Edo people.
Hundreds of Disneyland Resort employees have protested outside the world-famous California theme parks, calling for wages and denouncing alleged anti-union practice by the company were fair play. And Disney, don't be the villain at the march near Los Angeles. 44-year-old Disneyland employee, Ginny, argued that workers deserve is a strike is the last resort, as Disney is not willing to comply. And both Democrats
Old grandmother remains an active volunteer at a neighborhood food pantry where this predominantly black can get groceries at a time when the cost of living has risen dramatically. She says political leaders have neglected African Americans.
I just that okay, just taking people for granted, many years. I think they have.
For the economy, for the housing, for everything that we stand.
Black voters have historically favored the Democratic Party, but Republicans have changed minds this election. Community leader Joanne Keeler says the black community fared better under Trump's economic policies.
The opportunity to succeed, the access to funding, and the tax breaks that you got for starting businesses or having a family, it was historical. Those things really put the black community in a situation where they could succeed.
Osrc.
U.S. President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and has been forced to self-isolate at a critical point in his presidential campaign as more called for him to stand down over his age. Biden was already facing pressure to pull out of the election due to his age. After the COVID diagnosis, he cancelled a campaign event in Las Vegas. The White House said he was now self-isolating at his home in Delaware and was experiencing mild symptoms. It is the third time he has had COVID and he has been vaccinated. In a related development, Malaysia's nearly 100-year-old former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad has been hospitalized for continuous coughing. Mahathir is expected to be treated for the next few days. The two-time former Prime Minister Mahathir turned 99 last week. He has suffered several heart problems in recent years and undergone bypass surgeries. On 2025, Mahathir served as Prime Minister twice, first taking office as the country's fourth national leader from 1981 and 3. He then as president for a second time, 1928 to 20. Rallies demanding an end to a quota system that reserves government jobs for specific groups have turned violent in Bangladesh. Student protesters demanding an end to quotas for government jobs in the country have called for a complete nationwide shutdown after 6 people were killed and hundreds injured in clashes. Protest coordinator Nahid Islam said only hospitals and emergency services will remain operational, with ambulance services being the sole permitted transport. Authorities had closed all public and private universities indefinitely from Wednesday and sent riot police and the border guard paramilitary forces to university campuses to ensure law and order. On August 7, the Supreme Court will hear the government's appeal against a high court verdict that ordered the reinstatement of the 30% reservation for the families of war veterans. South Korea's Supreme Court has recognized new rights for same-sex couples. It also says the state must provide health insurance for a gay man's partner in a landmark ruling that left activists weeping for joy. The verdict, which cannot be appealed as it comes from the country's highest court, means common law spouses of the same sex can now register as dependents on their partner's health insurance. The court emphasized that it is discrimination based on sexual orientation to exclude the couple just because they are same sex. The case was brought by a gay couple, Sean Wook and Kim Young-mi, who lived together and held a wedding ceremony in 2019. Moving to sport, 2004 quarter-finalists Nigeria are scheduled to arrive in the French city of Bordeaux tonight as the countdown begins for their football includes this minute before 11 p.m. The designated players and officials is scheduled to arrive at the team's hotel Mercure abode minutes before night. Athens 2004 Olympics, Super Falcons last featured at the Women's Olympic Football in China when the Lord Democratic Republic football at the Olympic each to eventual Norway and eventually Still on sports, Spain French security forces have begun locking down large parts of central Paris ahead of the huge complex Olympics opening ceremony next week. The opening parade has led to the closure of Riverside Central District to most vehicles. Anyone wanting to enter the higher security gray zone along both banks of the River Seine, such as residents or tourists with hotel reservations in the area, will need a security pass in the form of a QR code. With the opening ceremony just 8 days away, the City of Light is transforming ahead of the games when around 10 million spectators are expected. And at watching.